Hey guys, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinners. Today I have 3 more meals for you. One on the grill, one in the crock pot, and one in the oven. So I hope you enjoy. I lost the footage of me putting all of this stuff into the bag, but I use a 1/4 cup of the olive oil, a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, and a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, and probably like 2 or 3 tablespoons of garlic. I let that marinate for a while in the bag, and then I cook it on the grill on each side for about 10 minutes. This was a thicker steak, so it needed 10 minutes on each side, and then it was cooked perfectly. Next up we have cracked chicken. This is made in the crock pot. This actually makes a lot and always gives us a ton of leftovers, so it's a good meal if you're looking for leftovers to take to work the next day. You just add 2 pieces of chicken to the bottom. You're going to add in it calls for 2 cups of whatever that was, I can't think of, chicken broth, and then a can of Rotel. It says diced tomatoes. I use Rotel because it has the green chilies in there. And then you do a can of each corn and black beans. You just dump that all together. In the recipe, it'll have all the spices. I didn't feel like doing that, so I used taco seasoning. It calls for a ranch packet, so I throw that in there. And then I stir that all around and put the bacon in. I think it's like 3 slices of bacon and a block of cream cheese. You let that all cook down for, I think, 6 hours. Once the chicken is mostly cooked, I will take it out and start shredding it and then add it back. After I add back the shredded chicken, I just stir it all around to break up that cream cheese block. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of cheddar cheese and then stir that in and then let it cook more. This is how it looks when it's done. We end up putting it over rice. That's our go-to. And this is what it looks like when it's all finished. Next up, we have the Mexican casserole. This one was a new one for me. I've never made it, and this was my first meal that I made that was completely gluten-free, since last week I found out that I have to stop eating gluten. And I made this on a night that it was just me and my son, and I was the only one that ate it because he said he didn't like it. So you cook it in like a 12 by 13 pan. I ate the entire thing myself. Literally, not in one sitting, but throughout the week I've eaten all of it. So none of it went to waste. It was so good. You cook you mix together the cornbread according to the directions, and then you add in half a can of each, the cream corn and the regular corn. It probably would have been good with some of the green chilies in there as well, but I didn't do that because I thought that my son was going to eat it. You mix all that together. I was already browning up my ground beef. I use ground turkey. So you let that brown up and then you add your taco seasoning and add the water, stir it up like you normally would. Once your ground beef is all cooked, you're going to spray your 9 by 13 baking dish and add in half of the cornbread mixture on the bottom and spread it all out. On top of that, you're going to put the ground beef mixture. And make sure that's all spread out evenly. On top of that, it tells you to add both the cream corn and the regular corn, the rest of the cans. I didn't do that because there was so much corn in it. So I just did some of the cream corn. I just kind of like plopped it everywhere. And then I added in green chilies. I don't remember if the recipe called for them or if I was just adding them in because I wanted them. I don't remember. So you just add those everywhere and kind of spread it around. And you were supposed to add cheese in on this part, and I forgot to add the cheese. So I ended up just putting the rest of the mixture over top of it. which is what you're supposed to do, but I was supposed to add cheese and I didn't. Probably would have been even better if I did add cheese. And then I ended up, after I put it in the oven, I remembered that I didn't add the cheese, so I took it out of the oven and I put the cheese on top, which was still good, but it would have been better in the middle. Just smooth it all around. It doesn't have to be perfect. It cooks just fine, no matter how you have it. And it was seriously so good. You cook it for 20 to 30 minutes in the oven. Once I take it out of the oven, you'll see how it looks. And in the picture, I broke it open so you can see how it looks on the inside. It was seriously so good. And like I mentioned before, it was completely gluten-free, which I feel made it even better because it didn't make me sick. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for next week's What's for Dinner. Don't forget to subscribe.